guys, it's Ariel Fox and welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, please do not forget to subscribe. So today's video is more of a personal video and something I've really been putting off. It's an issue I really struggle with and I have started speaking out about it on Instagram because I feel like that's a safe platform for me to expose who I am and what I'm suffering from. For some reason I've just had the confidence to talk about it there and I haven't really had the confidence to make a video about it yet. So long story short, I suffer from a chronic illness called endometriosis. Endometriosis is an illness that affects just women. 1 in 10 women suffer from this, so I guaranteed you probably know someone who's suffering from it. You might be suffering from it, that might be why you're watching this video, or you might be with a partner who's suffering from it. Just a word of warning, some of the information in this video might not be male friendly. I would recommend for you to try and watch this. I know the word period puts everyone off watching anything. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. It's just part of the illness. It's not a big part and it's something that this illness gets mistaken as being when it's much more than that, and this might help you support that special someone that you are with who really needs your extra help. And it can be really hard to understand what they're going through and how it's affecting them, especially when it's something that can't be seen. This is the thing I struggle with the most about this illness, is because people can't see it, no one takes it seriously and no one takes me seriously. When I'm having a really bad day and it's really bad for me and I'm in a lot of pain, people don't really understand, and people quite often say, oh, it's your endo again, oh well, I hope you feel better soon. And it's never really like, I don't know, I never really feel like they understand what's going on in my head and how awful it is for me, because they can't see it. They sort of just, they're used to it and they just see it as a normal thing that happens, when sometimes I really do need that extra support and help. So if you are a guy watching this, then it might be useful for you to keep watching so you can support those people around you. Endometriosis is basically a condition where lining inside your womb grows outside of the womb instead, and it can grow on all sorts of other organs. It's usually in the lower half of your body, but if you're really unlucky, it can grow on other organs higher up. There have been quite a few cases where it's grown on people's hearts and their lungs. The stage of endometriosis I'm at currently is the highest stage, and I'm at stage 4. For what I know, because it's quite hard to diagnose it, mine is mainly in my lower half of the body, but it could be higher up. It just hasn't been looked at higher up. So why is it so serious? So basically what happens is every time you are on your period, or even not on your period, I'm on contraceptive and I haven't had one in a long time. Every time you're on your period, the tissue that you've got growing outside of your womb as well starts bleeding too. This causes adhesions between inside your body, and obviously this blood doesn't really have a proper way of escaping your body either, which can cause complications. It can still come out. It's not like you're going to fill up and up with blood and you're going to explode. But it causes, like, means in some severe cases your organs can start sticking together. Other things it can cause is infertility. A lot of women suffering from endometriosis have trouble getting pregnant. So if you are researching this now and think that you might have it and you're having trouble getting pregnant, I would really urge for you to go and get it checked. It's really worth mentioning it with your doctors. A lot of doctors really aren't aware of it, and it took me like 12 years to get diagnosed. So it can take a really long time and people just fob it off. As women, unfortunately, we do get fobbed off quite a lot, and people just say, oh, you've just got really painful periods, and oh, that's something that will improve. But if you're really concerned about your body, you know when things aren't right. So if you are concerned, please go and speak to your doctor, especially if you're having trouble having children. Everyone gets all of these symptoms, but a lot of them are pretty common, and a lot of the ones on this list I get. The main symptoms are painful periods, pain on ovulation, pain during an internal examination, pain during or after sex, and also pelvic pain. Now for me, pelvic pain is something that I have just constant. It doesn't get worse or better during like period time. It can just stay horrific through the whole month, or it could be really bad for 2 weeks. And sometimes if I'm really lucky, I'll go a month or so without it at all, and then it will come back and be really intense again. The bleeding symptoms, and this is something to look out for. If you feel like what you're feeling during your period is really unnatural, and you keep getting told by doctors, oh, it's okay, this is natural, this is, you're supposed to feel this way, it's supposed to be painful, here's some paracetamol. Finding that it's affecting your day-to-day life, then these are things to look out for. So this will be heavy periods with or without clots, prolonged bleeding, spotting or bleeding between periods, irregular periods, and loss of old or dark blood before period. Bowel and bladder symptoms you could experience are painful bowel movements, bleeding from the bowel, symptoms of irritation with the bowel, including bloating, pain when you're trying to go to the toilet, and pain before and after you want to go to the toilet as well. And with me, I have a lot of endometriosis on my bladder, so I can't actually hold when I need to go to the toilet, because otherwise I'm in absolute agony and it's really horrible. So I need to be careful on my water intake and the breaks for going to the toilet. So if I need to go to the toilet, I have to go to the toilet straight away, otherwise it's just, the pain is just severe. As my bladder is swelling up, it is stretching and causing irritation to all of the endometriosis on my bladder, which makes me bloat. So I'm constantly bloated all the time, which is really frustrating. It seems to be getting worse and not better, which is even more frustrating. One of the reasons why I decided to quit modelling as well, because I was just feeling incompetent about it and it just wasn't going away. The symptoms include chronic fatigue, depression, back pain and leg pain. Sometimes when I'm having a really bad flare-up, I will have a shooting pain down my leg. Almost feels kind of like a trapped nerve and like the pressure needs to be taken off. It's a really weird pain that's really hard to explain. If you suffer from endometriosis too, maybe you'll understand and can explain it better in the comments for everyone else. I've tried everything and that pain just does not ease. The only thing that kind of relieves it is putting a hot water bottle in my leg. Chronic fatigue is the biggest problem for me with all of this and makes it so hard for me. Literally every day I wake up, I feel like I have not slept. The most energetic I feel is sort of like towards the end of the evening when it's bedtime, to get like a lease for life around then. Initially I thought it was because I wasn't a morning person, really wasn't sure what was going on, or that there was something extremely wrong with me. It was horrible before I was diagnosed because I really didn't know what was wrong with me and no one was listening and no one would understand, and that people were sick of me saying, oh, I'm tired. Like every time they asked me if I was okay, I was like, yeah, I'm just a bit tired. I feel tired all the time, just constantly 24/7, and I think that's something to do with the fact that I'm in pain constantly as well, and my body is trying so hard to work to cover up the pain or to make me aware of the pain. I don't know what it is, but it's just absolutely draining, and some days it's really hard to get out of bed and I will lie in bed for hours and hours and hours and can't get out of bed. Taking a really strong attitude towards all of it, and I recommend you to do this too if you are suffering from it. I don't let it get the better of me. I try and avoid that as much as possible. Even when I'm in the most pain ever, I try and avoid that and try and not let it get the better of me, because I want to live my life and keep doing stuff. So other ways I manage it is I have a hot water bottle and I have that constantly. That's constantly near me, and quite regularly I will sit with that on my stomach. That seems to ease it a little bit. I also use those TENS machines. I don't know if you've seen them before, but they're like those things that make your muscles tighter and make you skinnier and look more toned. They're really good for endometriosis because the stimulation of the muscles helps relax them, so when you're crampy and sore, that can help a little bit too. So if you think you have this, unfortunately there's not a nice way of checking for it. Sometimes it will show up on a scan if you're really lucky, but in most cases you need to go in for surgery and they need to look inside to see if it's in there. For me, I was really scared because it was my first surgery ever and I was really scared of going on. Doctors were saying that they weren't sure if this is what it was, and my surgeon was talking to me before I had my surgery, and she was saying to me, oh well, I don't think this is what it is. I feel like your symptoms sound like something else, even though when I'd looked it up online it was ticking every single box. This woman was trying to talk me out of having my surgery. She kept saying, yeah, like, don't think this is what you have, I think it could be something else, and go in anyway and have a look, but it's a really serious surgery and if anything goes wrong we have to cut you completely open. She was basically trying to talk me out of the surgery. And I was terrified anyway and nearly got talked out of the surgery, but luckily I went ahead. because when I came out I was covered in endometriosis. Even finding like professionals to take it seriously is so hard. In my operation they'd found endometriosis, tried to laser it, but because it's kind of like a tree and it has roots, it just keeps coming back and it will keep growing back, so there's no way of completely getting rid of it. But I was really happy that they'd lasered it, and I was thinking, oh, this is great, I'm gonna feel really good. I came home from my operation and I couldn't get out of bed for like a week. Didn't feel myself for like a whole month because I'm a bit of a baby and I can't cope with that sort of thing. And then I felt really good for about 3 months, and then I felt awful again. I've personally kind of decided that I'm not going to have any more surgery again unless there's a new type of surgery that is absolutely amazing and everyone's raving about it. Apparently contraceptive is supposed to control it and make it feel better. For me, I've tried literally everything in terms of contraceptive and it hasn't helped. But this is not to say that this isn't going to help you. Still recommend trying them and seeing, especially the coil. That's supposed to be the one that is highest recommended, and I see a lot of good reviews on that. I'm in an endometriosis support group and a lot of the girls have them and they swear by them and they absolutely love them. Unfortunately for me, I didn't get on with mine because I just felt it sort of in my womb area, and I felt like I could feel it all the time. Like even if my trousers were a little bit too tight, I could feel it. I just constantly could feel it and it felt uncomfortable. Really hurts having it put in. It's like the most pain I've ever been in ever. It controls how you're feeling. It is so worth it. Like when I've been bad, I've been so bad that I'll curl up in a ball and I'll just be crying because I'm in that much pain. A lot of the time I'll be on all fours and crying and cuddling a hot water bottle to try and make myself feel better. So yeah, anything that could take away from that is worth it. So if you've heard of people saying, oh my god, it's so painful having it put in and it was the worst thing ever and the pain after for like a month was so painful, ignore that, because I think if it's going to be something that works for you, it is literally worth anything. Like I'd go for it a million times over and over if it actually was right for me and if it suited me. It's contraceptive since I was 12, so this is the first time ever I've been with that, so I literally don't know who I am without it, so it's going to be interesting to discover me and my emotions without feeling all crazy. I feel like I've talked for a long time. I think I've covered off most of my main things I wanted to say. This video was going to be harder than it was because it's something that I'm quite emotional and stressed about and get pretty upset about myself, very uncomfortable, and I wasn't sure if I could speak about it. I spoke about a lot of serious stuff in my reasons why I quit modelling video, but it's nothing on this because this is something that literally affects me every single day and just drives me mad, and guess it seriously affects my mental health too, so this is quite a serious thing, and I was really nervous about making it and I've been putting off for so long, so I'm glad I've finally done it and it wasn't so awful. If you've liked this video, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe. If you are friends with or know endo sufferers, please share my video and see if it helps them. I found it really helpful when I was first diagnosed to watch other people's videos, even if they were talking loads of crap but they just had it. I really found that useful and really supportive, and it's nice to listen to other people. Nice to connect with you as well, so please subscribe so we can all band together and talk to each other and see about what works. I'd like to do some more videos on this, like top tips and diagnosis videos on how to like work out if you have it, and you know, mini videos, not marathons like this. So please subscribe if you want to see that, and thanks again for watching my video. Goodbye!